Loads to talk to you about tonight, and starting off with my underpants. Yeah, it's day 90. We made it there. On This Much Is True. It's D-Day. Does this kind of half-assed podcast continue or not, boys and girls? Well, we've reached the 90 days, and my verdict is we'll go to the 100 days. And see where we are after that. The little bit of hesitancy on my part is not so much doing this for the handful, the select few that listen to it, namely Tara, Nigel, Jerry, Mick, Susan, Ray. But it's just, I don't know if this is the right platform. Let's face it, I've got a face for radio. And I think maybe if we just go audio on it. Then again, I have been implementing bits and pieces of video recently. I don't know if that's been any good to people. Which reminds me, about 2 broadcasts ago, didn't I do the wonderful cockpit chatter? I relayed it for you. Authentic World War II audio of a Lancaster bomber over Essen, raiding Essen in Germany in 1943. I thought you'd be clamouring, banging down the doors with feedback on that. Not anything. Tumbleweed blown across the studio. It went down like a French kiss at a family reunion with you guys. You obviously have no appreciation for history. Hey, let's talk about my pants. Yeah, I don't wear the Y-front ones, you know, especially white. That's a bit of a dodgy colour. Let's say you're in a changing room. You don't want to be dropping them in the sunny side up now, do you? Uh-oh, I don't want to lower the tone, but I just have. No, I like the boxer shorts. And my wife recently got me a whole packet, if you pardon the pun, of boxers. And, you know, the gusset generally has, doesn't it? It has a nice seam or two down for support. But each buttock, boys and girls, has its own seam. And it's lovely, because when you slip them on, it feels like your bum kind of just lifts and separates, as if you're sitting on I don't know, on a bar or a swing. It just kind of grabs your butt. Anyway. So yeah, now that we've got the pants out of the way, and whether this has any future or not as a podcast, we need to talk about the day that's in it. Happy Easter to you. I hope you enjoyed yourself and you ate some Easter eggs, as opposed to fucking gesture eggs. Did you hear that? You know, try to take the Christianity out of everything. It's a gesture egg. Happy holidays. I don't forget about the day that's in it, and the good Lord resurrected on Easter. And it's all about new beginnings, really, isn't it? Which is why I want to address you people. There's going to be 2 links below this podcast in the description. One will be for Ray, who listens in here as much as I listen to his podcast, which is called Ray's Rants. If you want to go asleep while listening to a podcast, Ray's is the one to listen to. I raise my glass to you, Ray. And that is in no means to be insulting to his podcast or to his good lady wife who helps him recently with it as well. No. People have said we fall asleep listening to Ray's lovely dulcet tones. And you will. Check out the link below. The other one is going to be a link to, you're going to have a glass or 2 of this to hand, to the movie Shirley Valentine. From 1989, starring Pauline Collins, who's kind of pretty much a one-trick pony actress, but I love her. She's fantastic in the part. Shirley Valentine, for those of you who don't know, was, I won't even call it a girly movie. I think it's a movie everybody should look at, men and women, from 1989, about a housewife who's literally crawling up the walls with boredom when she's not talking to them with boredom. Because essentially the spark has gone out of her marriage. They've gotten used to each other. It's going to be interesting, because this time next week, myself and my wife are going to be empty nesters. Yeah, can you believe that? We'll be looking at each other's stony granite faces. And then we'll go, yay! Break out the binge watching and the wine. Hey, the kids. Anyway, one's gone to New York. The other's going back to Madrid. Hey, that's the way it goes. We've done our best for them, and we wish them well, and can't wait to see them again. One's gone for a year, the other will be back at the end of July if all goes well. Shirley Valentine, the movie. Well, this housewife, she's a Liverpudlian. Where's me dad? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? He's outside playing footy with the jam butty. That's the kind of Liverpudlian she is, played by Pauline Collins. And her husband has just, you know, the spark's gone. And he's just a guy who turns up looking for his dinner at 6 o'clock on the dot every day. And he throws a tantrum if he doesn't get his dinner. And she, at the invitation of a girlfriend, heads off to Greece at the age of 49 to re-find herself, if you like, to rediscover herself. In fact, she begins to fall in love with the idea of being in love with life and loving herself, which is the greatest love of all, according to the late Whitney Houston, is it not? So I think there should be little surprises in any relationship you have. Doesn't matter how long ago it is. I mean, I took my wife to a marsh today. How exciting a guy am I? But it's on our doorstep, and we only see it from the road. But I said, I know a way of getting close and personal with this marsh. So I marched my wife down to the marsh today. We had a look at that. Then we went off by the seaside. So there's going to be a second link. And the link is to the movie Shirley, Valentine. Have your wine ready, your tissues ready, perhaps, if you find it sad. But it's a film about hope, refinding yourself. I mean, some women are married to guys who are stuck in they go up to their room every day, lock themselves away, and probably pull their frickin' plum to a froth over the internet or God knows what. They've given up on life. The spark is gone. That is not what you ladies signed up for. You need a man who's got an underpants with a seam on each buttock. Not at all. And it works both ways. No guy wants to be a widower as well to an Apple myopic woman. In other words, someone who's on her phone all the time. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Conversation killers, as I call them. So it works both ways. I think you should have spaces in your togetherness. That's okay. But when you come together again, it should be murder. Do you remember that film? What was it? TV series, Heart to Heart. When they came together, it was murder. What's the name of the dog? Freeway. Remember that? Yeah. Who starred in it? Stephanie Powers. And then the handsome guy who had the wife who died on a yacht. What was his name? Anyway, someone will tell me. I can see his face. So yeah, I mean, you know, you've only got the one life. Anyway, back to Shirley. She goes on holidays to Greece, ends up with a kind of grease ball, for want of a better word, but played brilliantly by Tom Conti. And she finds herself. And I want you to go and click on this movie if you get a chance, and I want you to watch it. There's a point where she ends up on a boat with this Greek man. And you'll have to watch the movie. But there's a point in it. In fact, I reference it in my book, which took the publishing world by Cam, the man who chased joggers. Check it out if you want. And it's about a renewal. She at one point gets starkers, gets naked, and she starts to live. And she jumps off the boat into the beautiful turquoise or whatever it is, Mediterranean. And she plunges in. This 49-year-old Liverpudlian housewife renews herself. She aqua blasts the crap of her life. The fact that she is being held back and held down from living because she's in a marriage that is just a living hell, basically. Miserable. It's drab. If it had a national flag, it would be a piece of grey flannel. It's a boring life. So in her nudie, and then with her boobies, she jumps down into this beautiful aquamarine and sand blasts, aqua blasts, the crap of life. And she's down in that water. And this is a cathartic moment, boys and girls. And as she rises, she takes a breath. And she is renewed to live the best life she can for whatever time she has. And that's as much as you can ask of anybody or of yourself. So I'd ask you, don't be so hard on yourself. If you have a relationship, try and spice it up a little bit every so often, or a few little surprises. If you're feeling that you're getting old, you're getting to be an old lady, you know, I turned 60 recently. You wouldn't believe it to look at me. I think I look incredible for 60. I wish. But you feel it, you know, you feel the hand on your shoulder of mortality. And I had a serious brush with mortality over 5 years ago, and I'm not out of the woods yet. So the way I look at it is, if something happens to me, everybody should be are going to be looked after well, and as much as I can do about it. But it's not about me. It's not me. It's you. You sort of feel you're becoming an old lady, or you feel you're becoming an old man. There used to be a guy, you might remember him, called Wayne Dyer. He died at 75 years of age, but he had an incredible life. He was like a pop psychologist, if you like. And he used to say, if you're feeling old, and you start thinking old, and you start thinking your time is up, pretty soon you hold yourself in an old way. You will be hunched over. Pretty soon you will be wearing beige. Pretty soon you will have thought your life has gone. And he said, fight like hell to stop that old guy or old gal creeping into your life. Don't let them in. Don't let them in. Do not let them in. And if you are married to a piece of grey flannel, tell them when you have time, this isn't what I've signed up for. Get your fucking act together, or I'm going to be jumping out of a boat pretty soon. Starkers, you can come with me if you want and enjoy life, or you can sit there and rot. Wham bam, I am a man. Job or no job, you can't tell me that I'm not. Do you enjoy what you do? If not, just stop. Don't sit there and rot. According to Wham, from the great album, I think it was Fantastic, in 1982 or thereabouts. But very wise words. I always thought George Michael, who I think I'll do a whole program on, was an old soul and a wonderful person. It always did me good to look at George Michael and to listen to him. And what a guy he turned out to be. You know, such a benevolent character. Beautiful looking man, beautiful talented man, and yet he found a lot of enjoyment in being alone for a while. He liked to close the door behind him, have a little bit of alone time. But as you know, he was hugely altruistic and gave money big time to charities and to people who were in difficulties. Don't be in any difficulty. If you'd like to respond, I'd love you to talk to me at thismuchistrue@protonmail.com. Failing that, comments below. We've reached day 90. And we're going to go for 100 episodes. I wish you well. I hope you have a super fantastic week. And I love you all. I really do.
Head and Shoulders, I didn't know you had dandruff. Fuck off, you cheeky bollocks.
There's a sunburst whenever you're near me. There's a sunburst trying to break through, and I'll wait, hopefully near you, hoping you are trying to get nearer to the sunburst, the one that I'm feeling so your sunburst.